Hey, Mr. Crawford, this is Scotty from Porsche of Ocala with the Porsche Product Geniuses. I promised I was going to make you a video on how to work all the features on your car, so here I am to show you some of the features over here. Now, I'm a little limited in space with the Caymans and Boxsters, as you know, over here, so bear with me on some camera angles, but let's go ahead and get started. Now, we're going to stay on the inside of the car today, of course, because that's where the main focus is going to be, but let's go ahead and talk about lighting. Now, lighting on these cars are pretty simple to operate. For the most part, we're going to keep it right in the auto mode, which is at right now. Otherwise, if you just want to turn the headlights off, right over here, I always recommend this one, especially if you're maybe working on the car inside the garage or anything like that, or just need the headlights off, you don't need them on for any reason. You can just keep it right in that position. Of course, back to auto. In this position is going to be your parking lamps. Essentially, if you're stuck on the side of the road without an emergency or anything like that, you just want people to be aware that your car is there. Dark nighttime country road or anything like that, you have to park on the side, but you don't want to turn on your hazards because you're not having an emergency. You're going to keep it like that. Now, if you want to manually turn on your low beams, you're going to click it all the way over. Essentially, you just want to turn your headlights yourself, which gives us a little button guy right over here that lights up to let us know that our headlights are in fact on. This is the same light that will come on in the situation that your automatic headlights were initiated if it was dark enough out. Now, if you want to turn on your fog lamps, what you're going to do is you're going to actually pull this stock out while you're in manual, like so. And we get this little guy that illuminates right over here, and as well as the same little light right over here in the dash, which is pretty darn cool right over there. And that's going to be how you turn on your fog lamps. And now you can see if I try to pull out in auto mode, it won't let us. So you can only initialize fogs if you actually twist it all the way over. And that's about it. Now, turn signals, just in case, we're going to go over some of that right over here. In order to initialize high beams, you're going to pull the stock towards you, which gives us a little symbol at the top of our tack right over there. And if you want to turn them on, you're going to press it forward. Now, right now, it's not dark enough out, so it won't even let us turn it on fully. But if you want to turn it back off, you just pull it towards you again, and it would turn it off. Turn signals are very easy to operate right over here. Just press down a little bit, gives us 3 ticks for lane change. Pressing down all the way keeps it going until you either make the turn or press it up in the opposite direction to turn it off again. And that's about it. Nice and simple there. Now, the triple turn signals can be turned off if you're not a fan of them through the settings, of course. And if you have any questions about any of the settings, let us know. We're always here for you. But let's go ahead and talk about cruise control. Now, cruise control on Porsches is pretty much, it's very easy. It's all limited to the stock right over here. And for the most part, you only use really 3 different motions. Now, to turn it on, and I'm going to turn the steering wheel right over here so we can see everything, we're going to hit this little button here at the end, which, as you can see, this little button right here. And that gives me a little indicator right in the dash to let me know, hey, cruise control is on standby. Now, if you want to actually turn it on, there's a little code that they write actually on here, and you can see, aha, set. I'm going to press it forward. So I'd press it forward once I get to the speed that I actually want to set the cruise at, and then you're good to go. Now, if you want to increase in speed, you're going to press it forward again. Or if you want to decrease in speed, you just pull it towards you, and that's it. Now, there are, as you can see, there's up and down right over here. And you can see this is for resume or off. Now, off is it's more of a cancel. Essentially, if you're going along and you start seeing brake lights up ahead along the highway and you just want to start coasting and without having to hit the brakes or anything like that, then what you do is you just press it down. Now, the cruise control we can still see is still in standby mode, which is our little symbol right over here again. So that means if we were to twist it up like so, it would resume right back to the previous speed that we have set at. Or while you're coasting, if you want to change the speed to your current speed, let's say you're doing 70 miles an hour, you coast on down to 60, now you want to set it for 60, then you would just set it again by pressing it forward. And that's cruise control. That's it. All right, windshield wipers. This is going to be the next one we're going to talk about right over here. I don't want to leave any stone unturned over here. Now, starting off, there's a few different modes for windshield wipers. Of course, there's manual, there's automatic, and everything like that. In this case, to put the car into automatic windshield wipers, we're going to go ahead and lift it up to the first position, like so. Now we can see the stalks are more in line than what they were before. It looks more horizontal, and that's it. Now they're in automatic. Now, if you want to adjust its sensitivity, you don't feel like the windshield wipers are actually kind of going fast enough for the amount of rain that you have, then you actually turn this little tab right over here at the end as high as you need it. It's not only intermittent, it's also the adjustment for your sensitivity. Pretty cool little feature there. Now, if you want to actually turn on your windshield wipers yourself, you're going to lift it up again just a little bit more. Oops, I lifted up a little too fast there. This is a slow speed, as we can see going right here. And if I lift it up all the way, we have a fast speed. Now, this car isn't as clean as yours, so I'm going to show you how to wash the front windshield wiper, which is just pull the stock towards you. You can see right over here. Aha, now it's nice and clean. There we go. All right, and that's it. Now, if you want to wash your headlights, because Porsches come equipped with headlight washers, it's this little button right over here. Now, I won't be able to show you this one, but if I hit that little button, it's actually washing my headlights, which is pretty darn cool, especially for that Florida snow that we never get there, but pretty useful for love bugs and other situations like that, or just goop on your headlights. Pretty useful there. Now, coming over to our infotainment system on our dash, our little digital section right over here, and I'm going to turn off cruise control so we can see it fully. In your case, it's going to be all operated right over here by this little stalk, same as this car. And essentially, it's a pretty easy system. It almost works like a mouse. So if we want to change what menu we're actually looking at, we're going to press the dial on this little stalk down. And we can see that changes in between multiple sections here. Now let's say you want to select something. In this case, let's go to the vehicle right over here. Maybe we want to change some settings, like the turn signal settings that we mentioned earlier. What you're going to do is you're going to press it forward to select it. And of course, this is all labeled on the stalk right over here. So we're going to press it forward to select it, and we can just choose what we want to do. In this case, I want to go to settings, or maybe you want to measure your engine oil. So let's come over here and we can see, aha, engine oil is good. We don't have to worry about a thing. Now, if I want to back out of that, we can see a little stalk right over here just tells us to pull it towards us. So I just go, boop, pull it towards me, and now we're backing out, and now we're good to go. And that's it. Got somebody coming over here. Hopefully I'm not blocking them. There we go. All right. Now, I can just switch between. We can see telephone. Now, your phone will have a little different menu over here because we didn't end up pairing your phone. But if you're on this page, you can call like your most recent calls or anything like that. Navigation. This is also the page where you can come to actually adjust for auto zoom. If you want a northern-facing view on your map, which is pretty cool there. All depending on your preference, or you can manual zoom it. You can choose how far you want to zoom out. Or you can let the car take care of everything for you, which is what I recommend. And that's about it. Pretty useful little feature right over there. Now, door locks are going to vary in between every little car, but your car's going to be very similar to this one right over here. Your door locks are being located maybe a little bit down. This one has a sports chrono, so it has this little clock right over here. But of course, same button as it is to lock the car as it is to unlock it. Nice and easy. Of course, if the light is on, the car is in fact locked. And of course, we have your hazards to the left of that. Nice and easy there. And that's it. Now, let's go ahead and go over the infotainment system. Now, I can't quite go over the ventilation system because this one doesn't have the auto climate control like yours has. This one has the single zone manual climate, so it's going to be a little different there. But the infotainment system, I'm going to explain it as easily as I can. We have main buttons such as tuner, media, phone, navi, and map. Those are the main ones that are going to be used for the car. That's about it. Now, if you want to get back to your radio, you just hit tuner. And if you want to change the source, you can either hit tuner again, and you can see it actually cycling down over here. Ooh, we'll turn down that volume a little bit. Or another way of doing it is just to go ahead and hit source, and you can just choose it as you wish. In this case, we're going to come back to satellite radio. And now FM. And that's it. So there's multiple ways to do everything. Now, if you come to media, we can do the same thing. If you press it once, it brings you back to the last page you're on. In this case, we got some CDs in here. But if I want to change it, change the source, we can go to jukebox, we can go to auxiliary, and so on and so forth. Now, jukebox is, of course, your stored music through the SD card. In this case, the SD card is located right over here. Pretty cool stuff there. But another way of changing the source is, once again, just hitting the source button itself. And, of course, you can choose whatever you want to listen to. In this case, we're going to go back to FM. And that's it. Now, we did mention earlier that we already have your phone hooked up from the initial delivery, so we don't have to worry about any of that. But, of course, to answer and to hang up phone calls, answer and hang up nice and easily there. Or if we want to actually get to the phone page itself, we just hit phone. Now, right now, we don't have a phone hooked up, but this is the page where you come to actually dial in a number or anything like that. And I'm actually going to hook up my phone so I can show that to you, so bear with me. All right, now my phone's hooked up, and of course my phone is named Test001 because I always hook up my phone to customers' cars there. Nice, easy way to distinct it. But if we want to dial a number, we can just manually dial a number out by hitting this. We can, of course, just dial it in however we wish. This is also the page you would come to if you have to go through a call directory for like a 1-800 number and they say press 1 to get to this department. This is the same page you come to that. But we're going to back out of that. And, of course, to back out of that, we're going to hit the little back button right over here. That's it. Phone book is going to have all my contacts right over here. I can see everything nice and easily. And that's it. If I start twisting fast, you can actually see it'll just cycle quickly through the letters. So I want to just quickly get to the letter U. We can see, I got my uncle right over there, and my credit union, all that fun little stuff. So I'm going to back out of that page. Now, if I want to see my previous calls or received calls, we can go right in there, or we can even see text messages. So I can hit text messages right over here, I don't even know if I even have my emails hooked up. Apparently I do. Pretty cool stuff. I can even check my email right in here. I can see my mom has sent me a text. My dad has sent me a text about a day ago. You can check everything right over here. And of course, text messaging and emails is all dependent on the phone. Androids can receive text messages while driving. iPhones, unfortunately, cannot for right now. But now, and that's the phone page. Now, to come to navigation, we're going to go and hit the map page right over here. Really easy. And of course, we get a little confirmation, guys. So we're going to hit that little guy right there. And this brings us to the map page. In order to change the perspective of your map, we're going to hit this little compass right over here. In your case, we have it set for perspective view, which is a little more in depth, so I got to hit the little option button, which is the same button you'd hit to get to options on any page. But once you have all the settings set, you never really have to come over here. You can say, yep, we already got all that set up on your car. I remember doing that. You can come to map view, and I want bird's eye view. So this is going to look exactly like yours here. There we are. Now to enter in a destination, my easiest way of doing it is you're going to go and hit Navi, which is this little button. Depending on what you would want to do, if you want to go to previous destination, of course, you select previous destinations, stored destinations for anything that's been saved, points of interest, if you're trying to find a point of interest, of course, like restaurant or anything like that. In this case, we're going to hit enter address. And to start off, we're going to go ahead and select country and state. Now we live in the USA, so I'm going to hit that little guy right over there. And of course, we live in Florida, so I'm going to press a little down arrow, or I can actually twist this little dial right over here too and select Florida. Nice and easy. And that little dial's this one right over here. The gear selector's kind of blocking it a little bit. Now, I'm going to go ahead and select city, zip code. Obviously, we live in Ocala over here with the dealership, so we're going to go and hit that. We can see, aha, it already has Ocala for us, so I'm actually just going to touch that right there, and it instantly comes up without having to type the whole thing. And this one's going to ask for the street, so I'm going to go ahead, and it is going to be southwest. I already put the space for me. College Road, there it is, nice and fast. And our house number here is 5145. And I hit OK. And I just hit Start Route Guidance.
Follow the arrow on the display.
And now it's telling me it's just right down the road because I am just a little bit offside the building right over here. Now, it tells us we'll arrive by 5:22 p.m., which it's 5:21 now, so we're all good to go there. Now, if you want to cancel navigation, we'll just come to the same place we went to start it. We're going to hit Navi. Depending on where you'd want to go, in this case, we're just going to hit Stop Route, pardon me. We're just going to go ahead and hit Stop Route Guidance. And that's it. You're good to go. Simple as that. And that's the navigation system, of course. Now, the gear selector, I know you're very interested in using the manual paddle shifters. So once again, let's go over that little guy really quick. So the gear selector, you're going to give it a little squeeze with your thumb on the top right over here. You can see it depressing. And whenever you choose a little mode right over here, of course, whatever actually you're in. In this case, we're in park. So if I click it once, there's reverse, neutral, and drive. Now, of course, if you go into sport mode, by hitting this little button, we can hear the exhaust open up a little bit. But it's also going to hold the gears a little longer, but it'll still be in automatic mode. But if you want to go into manual mode, we're going to push the gear selector over to the left. And we'll see that change over from D to M, plus and minus. From here, you can, of course, pull the left paddle shifter to downshift, or the right paddle shifter to upshift. Or, of course, you can use the gear selector over here. In this case, for this car, it's forward to upshift and back to downshift. And that's about it. Now, this being a double clutch transmission, as Porsche calls it, a PDK transmission, a Porsche double Kupplung, which is a very fun one to say. Essentially, you do not need to ever let off the power in order to shift. For an example, we're going to head along right over here. I'm staying on the power the whole time. We can see just how quick it shifts. And of course, a downshift. And that's about it. It's a very easy system to initially learn, but it's a system that you can never master. It's so much fun. These cars have so much potential in them. You can just, it's so crazy to find the limit on these things. They're just so much fun. But all right, Mr. Crawford, if you do have any further questions on anything, you always know how to get a hold of us over here. We'll always get you taken care of. Other than that, we hope to hear back from you soon, and enjoy your new Porsche driving adventure. All right, take care. Bye.